Good Tuesday morning, everybody. I'm Dave Furtado.
And I'm meteorologist Jefferson Donovan.
And welcome to KEPR Quick, your latest local news and weather, commercial free in about 22 minutes or less. We're going to jump right over to weather with Jefferson Donovan because temperatures staying hot, and then we have those haze and smoke conditions sticking around.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. And those are the first two weather headlines. Temperatures are very hot around the forecast area. It was warm yesterday, but things will be even hotter today, tomorrow, and Thursday with triple digits possible around parts of our viewing area. Those haze and smoke concerns are going to be persisting. In fact, I would say not only for the rest of this week, but potentially for the next couple of weeks. And then as we get towards the weekend, we could see a cool down, and there may even be some showers as well. Now, let's focus in on that high heat. There are heat alerts in place across our viewing area from 11 a.m. this morning until 8 p.m. on Thursday, as we could see high temperatures eclipsing that 100-degree mark. Keep in mind, average high temperature this time of year for most of us sit in the low to mid 80s, so abnormally hot temperatures for sure for this time of year. We will touch on how hot it will get where you live, plus we will talk about those potential shower chances as we get towards the weekend coming up.
Thanks, Jefferson. We begin this morning in Yakima. Police department responded to a 911 call yesterday morning regarding a gunshot victim. Officers arrived at the scene in the 1800 block of Cornell Avenue, where they found a 27-year-old man suffering from a gunshot wound. Police and medical personnel attempted life-saving efforts, but the man passed away. YPD later learned that another person had been shot and was in the hospital. Police believe the 32-year-old hospitalized man is connected to the shooting. They say the incident is being investigated as a homicide. If you have any information about the shooting, you're asked to contact the Yakima Police Department or Yakima Crime Stoppers. And a man was arrested for first-degree assault after threatening a woman with a knife outside of a grocery store. Police were dispatched just before 9:30 p.m. last Tuesday to an assault outside of the Super One Foods in Ellensburg. A woman said a transient man pulled a knife out and tried to stab her, adding the man claimed to be a 42 Crip and began to throw gang signs. He was scared off after the woman's husband turned on his headlights toward them. Police found the man a few blocks away, where he was arrested and booked into jail. And a Kennewick woman, was arrested by Ellensburg police last week after a flock license plate reader alerted officers she was driving a stolen car. The woman was arrested after she was pulled over at a Love's travel stop on Highway 97 in a black Nissan Altima. She allegedly told police she had no idea the car was stolen and that a friend had let her borrow it as she was on her way to Tacoma. Police discovered the woman was driving with a suspended license and had a bottle of magic mushrooms in the car as well. She was arrested and the car was impounded. And there's an update in the hunt for a porch pirate caught on camera in rural Benton County over the weekend. Deputies with the Benton County Sheriff's Office say the man you see on this Nest video has been identified as 33-year-old Maximiliano Gomez. The Mapton resident was seen grabbing a package left by someone's front door on the 1400 block of 8th Street in Benton City before booking it down the driveway. If you know where police can find Gomez, you're asked to contact non-emergency dispatch. Their number is up on our website, KEPRTV.com. New research suggests detention centers are not the best way to curb youth crime. A recent study published in the American Journal of Public Health examined the effectiveness of more than 100 youth detention facilities nationwide. They found the sites tend to cost more and lead to higher reoffending rates compared to community-offered alternatives.
Hear about money and the way money is spent, you'd probably really look at youth incarceration and question why it's done in that way, because it costs a lot, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars per person per year, to incarcerate a young person, and it doesn't work. The outcomes are not good.
Now, the study also found that nearly 2/3 of the detention facilities exhibited racial disparities, systemic abuse, and poor quality confinement. Commuters traveling on George Washington Way will need to plan ahead. Starting today, crews will begin work at the intersection of Aaron Drive and Columbia Point Drive, adding an additional southbound lane of G-Way and a new left turn lane heading towards State Route 240. They're also improving pedestrian infrastructure. City leaders say the work is key to addressing one of G-Way's most congested areas and getting it prepped for the major downtown loop project. While the intersection will remain open, there will be some lane closures, and the project is expected to be completed by November. Switching gears, livestock entries are now open for the Central Washington State Fair, taking place September 19th through the 28th in Yakima. Eligible animals include swine, beef and dairy cattle, meat and dairy goats, and sheep. Classes offered range from market to showmanship to peewee and costume categories. Cash awards and champion buckles will be given out, and RV sites are available for participants. The deadline to enter is September 8th. More information can be found up on our website, KIMATV.com. And speaking of those animals, as Labor Day weekend came to a close, so did the Ellensburg Fair and Rodeo. KMA's Zane Connor spent some time at the fair and met some new faces.
The annual Ellensburg Fair welcomed a large crowd this Labor Day, as well as some new vendors.
First time here, I would say that we didn't expect it, honestly. It's a pretty nice fair. It's our first time here. And it's been a wonderful experience, you know, being able to be next to a rodeo. We've never been next to a rodeo before.
Huli Huli provided delicious barbecue made in a special, family-inspired way.
This is a rotisserie machine. It's a homemade machine made by my dad and my family. And we cook chicken leg quarters and pork ribs on the machine. And this is a family-owned business.
The newcomers want to be back next year as well.
Definitely. I would say 10 out of 10. We would definitely be back, sir. Yes, definitely.
On the other side of the fairgrounds, the Kittitas County 4-H program, a youth development program that teaches kids about responsibility, problem solving, decision making, and more, gave their students an opportunity to raise livestock and compete at the fair. This provided the kids with the opportunity of learning how to care for an animal.
I've learned probably how to mostly responsibility, taking care of your animals and other things too. You have to do all the stuff to keep them alive, and you're the only one doing that.
For some, public speaking was a huge stepping stone.
Yeah, public speaking was a really big part. I was not very good at public speaking before I went in 4-H, but all the years of doing presentations and oral reasons at fair for judging, I've gotten a lot better at it.
One 4-H student said that the livestock program has brought out competitiveness at the fair.
There's a little bit of competitiveness, but everybody's supportive and super fun. Just everybody's out here to just have a good time and show people what raising livestock is about.
While many vendors and service providers are competitive deep down, the moral of the Kittitas County Fair's story is to have a good time. Reporting for Action News, I'm Aiden Connor.
KMA's Aiden Connor, thank you. And the Ellensburg Rodeo wrapped up yesterday, but if you missed it, don't worry. You'll have another chance to catch all of the action when it returns next Labor Day weekend. Plane and history enthusiasts may want to take a trip out to Walla Walla to get a glimpse of living history at the regional airport. We're talking World War II planes, the B-25 and the B-17. Both landed in the place of many waters this week for the Wings Over Walla Walla event. Meticulous restoration with a whole lot of attention to detail. These birds can really feel like a rift in time.
Imagine this. You're 17 years old, sitting in a seat just like this in the B-17 bomber, but instead of marveling at the history around you, you're going to war. And at 36,000 feet, it gets pretty cold in here. As the folks around here were telling me, these were built for freedom, not for comfort.
It can be anywhere from 50 to 70 degrees below zero for 8 to 10 hours at a time.
Shelby Bulkey has been loadmaster for the B-17 in the Commemorative Air Force for 41 years, so you can say she's a bit of an expert on the plane. On top of books, she's come face to face with veterans and their memories of being in one.
There's no floor. You're standing on the ribs of the aircraft. All the shell casings fall back into the fuselage, so you're walking around on hot marbles. The windows tended to frost up. It was designed for windows, but they tended to frost up, so they took them out. So now you have a slipstream. You're freezing, people are trying to kill you, and part of your clothes are on fire.
The vivid description accompanying the in-your-face history sitting at the Gorge Aviation Hangar.
80 years ago, this is what they lived and breathed. And we even on the 25 have the signature of a Doolittle crew member, and these people, they made history, they preserved freedom, and they made a difference.
Craig Wallum with Wings Over Walla Walla also loves history and being part of welcoming these relics to his city.
For me, it just connects me to history the way I want everyone else to be able to connect to history.
Remember that Doolittle signature? From a mission to bomb several cities in Japan. It gave the U.S. a much-needed morale boost early in our involvement in World War II, and it's one of many signatures across the bomb bay doors of the B-25. A lot of the heroes who left them, not even old enough to drink.
The 4 in the front averaged age was 22 to 25. The 6 kids in the back were all 17 to 19 years old.
And if you look at training manuals, they're all full of cartoons because they were used to cartoons, they were used to comic books.
And these planes were not designed for big people. Each has a crew of 10 and some pretty tight spaces.
The fuselage is the consistency of 2 beer cans pressed together. Anything that came at you, if it shot you from the side, it literally went straight through one side, through the aircraft and out the other. There was nothing that stopped it.
But these planes prevailed, and for the B-17, only 2 are left flying. Bulkey says this particular flying fortress has quite the story. Built in 1944, it arrived to the Pacific too late for combat, so it did other jobs. In the 50s, it was part of an above-ground nuclear test.
She became the mothership. They put all the instrumentation on her. The other ship was remote controlled into the blast, and we know that an all-aluminum airplane melts.
Then it fought forest fires for nearly 2 decades, and it took about that long to restore her.
Because you can't just go to some auto parts store and get a ball turret.
As Bulkey gets ready to retire after 41 years with the B-17, she says she'll miss adding heroes to her list.
There's pictures under the glass. Those are my heroes. When I get to meet them, if their family will bring me a picture of them when they were in the military, I slide them under the glass and my heroes get to fly with me.
For Wallum, this is just another opportunity for kids like his own to connect to a group of fighters who never gave up.
And I want kids to see and to awe and to touch and to become infected with the idea that history isn't dead, it's alive. And it will always be alive as long as it stays alive in their hearts and in their minds.
Now, the planes are at the airport through Sunday, and they have tickets for rides available for purchase. There's also a raffle drawing for free flights. If the static displays more your speed, the Commemorative Air Force asks for a $15 or $30 donation, which goes directly back into maintaining these wartime marvels. For kids, activities like Breakfast with the Birds and an aviation challenge are on the docket this week. All of the details can be found up on the DW Distilling website. And with that, I got to say, Jefferson, checking out the things in person is way better. This video doesn't give these planes justice, doesn't give the workers justice on all of their efforts to maintain and keep these planes flying. For any folks that want to get out there, though, they're going to want to be prepared because temperatures are going to be hot, and it gets even hotter when you're in those planes.
It gets even hotter when you're in those planes, and it will get even hotter as we go into Wednesday and Thursday than what we are going to experience today, which is kind of hard to believe because high temperatures today are going to be oh so toasty. Temperatures in the Tri-Cities today will warm into the upper 90s, closing in on 100 degrees. Upper 90s to low 100s today for the Yakima Valley. Similar story coming for the Kittitas Valley. And then for the Blue Mountain foothills, including Walla Walla, we will see those upper 90s to low 100s as well. Now, these temperatures are certainly hot out there today, but how about record breaking? Well, record challenging for sure. In Yakima, we are going to have a chance to tie the record of 99 degrees that was set back in 2017. In Ellensburg, we will have a chance to tie the record of 98 degrees that was also set back in 2017. And in the Tri-Cities, it is certainly within reason to believe that we could tie the record of 100 degrees that was set back in 1998. I think it speaks volumes that around the region today, we will at least be challenging records. And as we take a look at the next 2 days after today, Wednesday is going to be even hotter with widespread low 100s across the viewing area. By Thursday, we will see temperatures comparable to today with upper 90s to low 100s. Hazy, smoky sunshine is going to be seen throughout the rest of this work week. So speaking more to those haze and smoke concerns, here's a look at your haze and smoke forecast. Unfortunately, there are so many fires burning in the Pacific Northwest, Washington, Oregon, and Idaho. It really doesn't matter where the wind direction is coming from. That haze and smoke is going to be persisting over our viewing area for at least the rest of this week. And I would venture to say for maybe the next couple of weeks. It won't be until we get one of those big fire season ending rain events that we will start to see the haze and smoke concerns lessen. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like one of those big rain events is coming anytime soon. However, as we take a look at the Storm Tracker Futurecast, there is going to be an opportunity for maybe some precipitation as we get towards Saturday. We are going to have a storm system that will bring at least a slight chance of showers to our viewing area. What I will say is that this version of the Storm Tracker Futurecast reflects the GFS model. The GFS model has been much more bullish on precipitation than any other weather models. So I'm not totally sold on the fact that we are going to see region-wide rainfall on Saturday, but still a few raindrops here and there on Saturday will be possible. And we are also going to be looking at a pretty hefty cool down as highs retreat to the 80s, which will feel quite nice. Right now, I'm going to toss it back to Dave.
Thanks, Jefferson. Protesters took to the streets of Kennewick yesterday in recognition of the Labor Day holiday. Hundreds of people could be seen lining the sidewalks of Columbia Center Boulevard yesterday morning, waving signs and chanting in unison. Folks we spoke to say the message was about standing up for constitutional rights and supporting workers.
It's part of our Constitution, and the right to protest and the right to express is definitely one of the freedoms that we cannot allow to be taken from us. I'm here to keep our workers strong, our people strong, our middle class strong.
Now, organizers of yesterday's protest also collected donations for Martha's Cupboard, which provides essentials to local families and individuals experiencing homelessness. Now, the last Sunday of September is Gold Star Family Day, a day to honor and remember the mothers, fathers, and families of fallen service members who died in the line of duty. KMA's John Franklin took a trip to American Legion 47 to learn more.
I just like people to take a minute and remember what these service members did for them and be grateful.
14 names of service members from Yakima are displayed at the American Legion, giving people a chance to honor and to remember their lives and their sacrifice.
Yeah, it's important to remember these service members, because without their sacrifice and them volunteering to go over and do the things that they did, we wouldn't live in the society that we live in.
September 28th is Gold Star Family Day, but the American Legion won't host a ceremony. Yet they will remember the soldiers.
We just want people to see the names and remember their sacrifice, because our first duty as citizens is to remember what they did. So when our members or the public come into our post, they can look up and remember the names of those service members that died for them.
The people with a gold star left behind brothers, sisters, parents, friends, co-workers, and family.
I do know Alan Johnson. I knew him before he deployed to Iraq. We worked together at the county, at Yakima County. He worked at the county jail and I was working at the sheriff's office, so I'd run into him all the time. He's always a friendly guy, nice man, well liked at the jail and by his peers and friends.
The Gold Star service members may be gone, but they will never be forgotten.
I'd like to tell those guys, if I could, and their families, that my kids and my grandkids live in a safer world because of that.
For Action News, I'm John Franklin.
KIMA's John Franklin, thank you. And 14 Gold Star service members are featured at the American Legion, but Stedman told KIMA that there are probably more Gold Star families in Yakima. If you are part of a Gold Star family from Yakima and your loved one is not in the Legion, contact the phone number on your screen. And we're going to switch gears to some municipal news this morning. Kelly Koski is no longer serving as the Administrative Services Director for the city of Sunnyside. Her employment ended last week, less than 5 months after she was hired. She joined the city in April after working as Finance Director in Cortez, Colorado. Koski was responsible for overseeing finance, human resources, and municipal court operations. She replaced Debbie Zabel, who retired earlier this year. The city has not released any further details, citing its policy on not commenting on personnel matters. The Toppenish School District has announced 2 interim principal appointments for the 2025-26 school year. Patty Diaz will serve as interim principal at Garfield Elementary. A Toppenish graduate with nearly 3 decades in education, Diaz has held a range of roles in the district, most recently as the Director of Academics. At Toppenish High School, Cynthia Valdez steps in as interim principal. Valdez brings over 20 years of experience in educational leadership with a focus on equity and multilingual education. Both appointments aim to provide stability while the district plans for long-term leadership. And Sunnyside students head back to school this week, and district officials are reminding families of a strict cell phone policy in place at Sunnyside High School. Under District Policy 3245, classrooms are cell phone free zones with phones, smartwatches, and similar devices required to be put away and off during class time. The goal, keeping students focused and engaged. Limited use is allowed during lunch and passing periods. Rules are even stricter, though, at Harrison Middle School, where phones are banned throughout the day due to ongoing issues with bullying. We have reached out to the school officials and are awaiting a response. And finally, Kennewick had a huge Labor Day picnic to celebrate the hard workers in the community. Keeper Stephanie Rivera attended the event and has the details.
Labor Day just isn't about hot dog and hamburgers or even cotton candy, even though it's a highlight for some, but at its core, it's to recognize hard American workers, the people who keep everything moving, often without a day off.
Columbia Park and Kennewick had their 12th annual Labor Day picnic. People all around the community came to grab free hot dogs, burgers, and treats, while enjoying free live music, face painting, a car show, and even a bouncy house.
I love it. We came last year, we came the year before, and we'll keep coming because we're making more memories.
Today's event is really such a blessing for the community, for all of us to come together. I've seen old friends and classmates and heard car stories, and it's just a wonderful picnic for the city.
This event began in 2012 with just 200 people attending, but now has grown to have 1,200 to 1,500 attendees a year. This event is hosted by the organized laborers community who just wanted to get back.
Throughout the years that I've been involved with organized labor, I've seen the community always have the backs of organized labor whenever there's been any kind of disputes as far as wages or working conditions or anything like that. They've always been very supportive, and so that is one thing that I hope to express back to them, is that because they've supported us throughout the years, we also support them.
People in the community say that today isn't just about having the day off, but honoring all the hard workers that have contributed to this country.
So Labor Day to the community, I hope what it means is a chance to celebrate the American worker, whether those workers happen to be unionized or not.
Is a celebration and a remembrance of how our country was founded on such hard labors.
Labor Day to me means remembering our loved ones that aren't with us anymore.
Today is like, it's a big holiday for all of us, especially the labor guys. We're the ones that do all the work.
If you didn't make it to this year's event, don't worry, there's still plenty of time for next year, where there will be plenty of food and entertainment. Reporting from Kennewick, this is Stephanie Rivera for Action News.
Keeper Stephanie Rivera, thank you. And thank you for watching this episode of Keeper Quick. For more local news and weather, you can head over to our websites, keeper and KIMATV.com, as well as our Facebook pages. But while you're here, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep up with our latest mini newscasts Monday through Friday. Have a terrific Tuesday, everybody.